Well, here we are on the Gardener's Corner program. My name is Rob Hall. Glad to have you along. A regular Friday feature here on TV Channel 10, located on Channel 191 on Charter Communications and WKRX 96.7 FM. The Gardener's Corner program is brought to you today by South Boston Memorials and T.G. Brooks Company. We appreciate their support. Should you have the opportunity to send some business our way, please do so and let them know that you appreciate their support here on the Gardener's Corner program. Without further ado, I would like to make welcome all the way from the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service, a man that enjoys his job. Just sometimes the things that go along with the job can be a little bit aggravating and
That's
frustrating.
for sure.
So please make welcome Mr. Carl Cantalupi.
Thank you, Rob.
Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. Good morning.
And the frustrating thing of the day is...
I can't get my computer to operate properly, so we'll have to go through today without any visuals of any kind, unless I get a call back to figure out what I need to do to fix the old computer. But so far, she's kaput.
So, in a sense, what you're saying is, if they're watching on TV, they get to look at our smiling faces for about 55 or so minutes.
Two faces that were made for radio.
Amen to that. But we are live in the studio today. The telephone number 336-599-0266. That's 599-0266. We're going to be talking about a lot of useful topics today. But let's jump right in, and we'll make mention of the Roxborough Farmers Market located on Depot Street. They're there 6 days a week in the mornings, and you can get your fresh fruits and vegetables. Shop local whenever you can. The Farmers Market is located on Depot Street. And also, the Person County Farmers Market is open Wednesday afternoons 3 until 6, Saturday mornings 8 a.m. until 12 noon. It's located right down on Madison Boulevard, the Person County Farmers Market, across from the Cookout Restaurant. And Carl, any idea what's expected to be at the market tomorrow?
Yeah, I've got some information here, and what they're going to have are a variety of different things. Melons, okra, peppers, butter beans, dried October beans. We'll also have pork and chicken, tomatoes, cucumbers, green peppers, beets, cilantro, and dill. Of course, eggs, tomato, squash, okra, and eggplant. And then also things as far as, let's see here, healing salve, sugar scrubs, all natural herb health and body care products, these type of things, and also bakery items too. A whole variety of different bakery items, cinnamon rolls, blueberry muffins, caramel apple tarts, chocolate chip brownies, almond joy cupcakes, pistachio or cranberry almond biscotti, granola, focaccia, and tomato mozzarella pesto tarts. So a lot of nice,
A lot of fancy things.
You bet.
And it's more than just the produce market. It's the farmers market with fresh, locally raised meats and chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, we're going to kind of slide off of something that is a little bit out of your realm or expertise, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And when you just said something about, they would have local eggs at the Person County Farmers Market, with the more or less, and I don't know the proper words to use for it, but pretty much they are worried about this a virus or disease affecting the poultry population.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it will not be any chickens or anything like that. I guess I'm not going to say we're under quarantine or anything, But what I wanted to ask, have you all received any information about what all is going on? And I know that they
Yeah.
are asking all poultry owners, from those folks that only have a couple of chickens in the backyard to those that maybe have hen houses or, fryer houses. They want them to register with the Department of Agriculture. Do you know much about
Yes,
that?
yeah, the best source to go to is our own extension office. Give us a call at 336-599-1195 and ask to speak to Kim Woods.
Okay.
She is up on all the latest regulations, all the things that you need to know, forms you need to fill out, and she's the person that's handling that in the office. Again, that's Kim Woods. Call the extension office, 336-599-1195.
And a lot of people is thinking that it's just another way that the government wants to know what you have, but it's not at all that.
No.
But what is some type of influenza or something?
Yeah, I'm not going to comment about it because I really don't know anything about it, as far as the particulars. So the best thing for people to do is to call the extension office, ask for Kim Woods.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just like, I don't feel comfortable in going outside of my realm and saying something wrong when I really don't know all the particulars about it. We leave, in this case, it's better to leave it to the person or the people that are taking care of it.
Well, I understand. And I kind of chuckled, when Carl, started saying that, and it's certainly no laughing matter because, when you look at the poultry population of everything that kind of runs along with chickens, especially eggs, and all the uses of eggs and things like that. So, again, you can call up to the local office, 336-599-1195, and speak with Kim Woods. All right, Carl, we'll get into a few things that you are a little bit more accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. You just will say, close to the middle of August.
That's right.
Now it's time to where if you're planning a lawn renovation project, a total lawn renovation project, it's time that you should be spraying your grass and weeds with Roundup.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And actually, I got a call this morning from an individual that was complaining that his lawn was dying out in patches. And it just gets progressively worse throughout the summer. And I asked him if he fertilized his lawn in the spring, and he said yes.
Aha!
Yeah. Elementary, my dear Watson. And this is what happens when you over-fertilize cool season grasses like fescue in the spring. It aggravates the brown patch fungus disease problem. It doesn't cause you to get brown patch disease, but it provides the fungus organism with the ingredients that it needs to go ahead and infect. When you over-fertilize lawns in the spring, you create a top-heavy plant. Nitrogen goes right into the grass blades, and it makes a soft, succulent lawn. And when the lawn is in this condition, it's more susceptible to picking up the brown patch fungus in the summer once it turns hot and dry. So the easiest way to control brown patch is not to fertilize your lawns in the spring, and concentrate your fertilizer applications to the fall. And by all means, get a soil sample taken right now to determine what your lawn needs in terms of lime and fertilizer, and then apply the lime right now, and then you can apply the fertilizer in the fall. So basically, that's one thing to remember. About the brown patch fungus disease organism. Now, when we're into we're into the time where lawns need to be renovated, if you're going to do that this year, being that we're already in the middle of August now, the best thing to do is go ahead and apply the the herbicide, such as Roundup, to kill off any existing vegetation along with the grass you want to remove. Wait 2 weeks, and then by that time you'll have the results of your soil test recommendation back to you, and then you might take out the lawnmower and scalp the dead vegetation. It'll make it a lot easier when you go ahead and till it under. You'll till it under in 2 weeks, rake it smooth, and then go ahead and sow your seed. And this way you'll get a good lawn started. Sow the seed, then tamp the soil with a device so that you can get good seed soil contact. Add some weed-free straw mulch, about 1 bale per 1,000 square feet, and then go ahead and turn the water on. And you want to keep that seed bed moist until we do get good germination. Then you can gradually cut back on the water. But generally, early September is the best time to go ahead and establish your cool season grasses so that we can get a good root system formed before winter comes.
Well, Carl, along with all that being said, if someone is planning a maybe a overseeding or reseeding or total lawn renovation, what type of fescue should they use?
It's a good question, Rob. Generally, what we use are turf-type tall fescues. The common tall fescue grass that we see is Kentucky 31, and that's actually a pasture grass. And it has a very wide blade, and it's a very coarse blade, so a lot of people don't like to use that for the lawn. So we have different varieties available now that are called turf-type tall fescues that have a narrower blade, and it's more appealing to the eye. And varieties like Mustang, Rebel, and Falcon, these are varieties of the turf-type tall fescue, and they impart the same amount of disease resistance in them as the old Kentucky 31 does. And whenever possible, look for these turf-type tall fescue varieties in a blend or a mixture. In other words, 2 or 3 different varieties of these turf-type tall fescue that come, in the same bag. And this is beneficial because if we do have fungus diseases, if you have different varieties, the disease is not going to take out everything in the seed lot. So turf-type tall fescues are the ones to look for when you go ahead and get your seed.
Okay, that's some useful information. Carl, one other thing I had made mention of this last week, and I just want to let you know that I've got a sheet of paper fixed up to where when I start getting calls about people wanting leaves, where I can go ahead and, put the name down at the top. And, I do this, first call, first available. When the leaves start falling, I start at the top of the list and kind of work my way down.
Yeah.
And the reason I have to do it this week is because I try to be nice, generous, and kind, and I don't charge anything.
That's nice, yeah.
The people can just come out and get them up out of the yard as they need them and use them. So, anyway, but I've got a nice piece of paper set up ready to start writing names down. So it'd be a good time for you to start calling in the next week or so if you are wanting leaves. We can, help you out with that. We sure can.
There you go.
Well, Carl, here it is, as I mentioned, the middle of August. Is it time enough, and I know you love for me to ask this every week, is it still time enough to plant warm season vegetables?
Oh, sure. Still have plenty of time to plant by seed, snap beans. If you even want to try an early variety of sweet corn, I would still give that a try and see how it does. You have those from seed, and then of course still plenty of time for cucumbers and summer squash from seed. And can get another crop of zucchini or yellow straight neck, yellow crookneck, patty pan squash, all of those. Cucumbers, still plenty of time for those. and then of course be shopping around for cold crop transplants, cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli transplants that really need to get into the garden, as soon as you can.
What about collards?
Collards, I would, if you can find transplants of collards, that would be good now too. And then as far as mustard and turnip, they're easily started from seed, and I'd probably wait until the end of the month to start mustard and turnips. But if you can find collard transplants, fine. If you can't find them, I would even, start with seed with collards. Mm-hmm.
Hey, we've got a couple of calls.
Very good.
Good morning. Thank you for calling the Gardener's Corner program.
Good morning. I hope you can help me with my problem. I called you about it last year, about my damson tree having those big knots on them.
Oh, that's black knot of plum.
Well, I did go ahead and cut those off like you told me, but I never did get the solution to spray it with. So this year, it's a whole lot worse than it was last year, and it's got right many damsons on it. I got some off yesterday.
Yeah, if you follow a spray schedule and spray the damson plums along with other fruit trees, you shouldn't have problems with black knot. Also, the source of the black knot is coming from wild plums and cherries close by. If you have wild plums or wild cherry trees in the woods, it's probably best to eliminate those if you can. But just get an ordinary fruit tree spray at any garden supply store, and then spray on a continual basis once every 10 days or so throughout the season.
Well, listen, I think those bottom limbs should come off of mine. I'll be 90 years old this month, and I'm not able to do that.
Okay.
I wish you would spell this out to me. Do southern states sell this?
Yes.
Yes.
They should. Uh-huh.
Already mixed, or do you mix it yourself?
You have to
I have
mix
a
it.
gallon spray and a gallon and a half.
Yeah, you have to mix it in water in the sprayer and spray.
Okay, what is the name of it? Spell it out for me, okay?
Just a general fruit tree spray.
General fruit.
Yes, ma'am. Just tell them you need a fruit tree spray, and they can assist you with what you need, and they may ask what you're going to use it for, and you can just tell them you're going to spray your damson trees.
Well, okay, I have all problems with all sorts of things around here.
Well,
you wouldn't believe.
It seems,
Yeah,
that happens.
I've got 4 cats, and the coons, and the possums, and the skunk comes around.
Wow.
Boy, that skunky smells so bad.
I know.
All right, well,
Wake me up in the middle of the night. I thought I was going to use a gas mask.
I don't know what the solution is to the skunk, but ma'am, I have a question for you. Do you have a pretty good crop of damsons?
About 3 years ago, I got 11 quarts off it as far as I could reach, and it was just blue with damsons.
Right.
I thought the tree was going to break down if it should have come a real bad storm.
Right. The reason I was asking, I had somebody ask me earlier this week, did I know anybody that had any damsons for sale, because they want to make some preserves. But look, appreciate your call, but we need to get ahead. We've got another call waiting, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too.
And good luck to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for calling the Gardener's Corner program.
Good morning, Rob. Carl.
How you doing? Sorry to keep you holding so long. How you doing?
All right. If you have more leaf customers and you can handle, send me some.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. After I get rid of mine, I'll give them your number. I sure will. And I'm looking to get rid of the leaves too. So I mean, when they start to fall, that's when people will really call, and I'll just get rid of mine, and I'll send some your way.
Yeah. What I want to ask Carl is, what's a good time to plant red top clover? I'm going to plant about a half acre or so.
That's a field crop question. Probably best to give Kim Woods a call at the extension office.
Okay. All right. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy the show.
Hey, appreciate
okay,
it, Gary.
thanks.
Thank you. Have a good day. All righty. Let's see. Got another? Well, yeah, do. Got another call. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Gardener's Corner program.
Yes, I want to put my name on the leaf thing, please.
Okay. All right. We certainly will, man. We certainly will. So, you doing okay?
Doing pretty good.
Well, good. All right, I tell you what, let us get a word on for one of our sponsors. I'm going to put you on hold, so you bear with us, okay? We're going to take a trip out to T.G. Brooks Company. They're located in the heart of Timberlake, been in business since 1936. Here we go to T.G. Brooks Company.
It's time for collards, cabbage, and broccoli. It's August, and as we start heading toward the fall season, we can already be thinking about cooler days of fall that'll be here soon when we really enjoy getting outdoors again and doing our fall lawn work and our fall flower gardens. It is also time now to kill those weeds in the lawn to be ready for fall seeding. T.G. Brooks Company has the chemicals to do it. T.G. Brooks Company has the grass seed, and they're fully stocked for fall. And meanwhile, if you still need irrigation, they have plenty of irrigation needs, such as hose and sprinklers and piping. For your work in the yard, they have yard tools like rakes, hose diggers, choppers, pitchforks, and pruning saws, loppers, wheelbarrows, and lawn carts, and lawn sweepers. And for your fall flower bed, they have your hardwood mulches and dyed mulches and that really good triple ground mulch. They have mulch in bags or by the trailer or pickup load, and they can arrange delivery for you if you need it. So this year, beautify with fresh pine needles too. And for planting, get you some topsoil, planting soil, and cow manure. By the way, they also have the Pride dog food, including the Pride Pro Series. No matter if you're a homeowner or business owner, they can fill your fall needs. If you're a professional landscaper, they can handle commercial accounts. It's no wonder people from every corner of Person County travel to T.G. Brooks Company. They love the friendly family business there where every customer, no matter how large or small, is treated with courtesy. They serve homeowners, farmers, and those in construction. They have since 1936. When you finish up the day, you need to have a good meal and relax. Have a good old hand-cut ribeye steak, custom cut to your thickness right there at the store. They're so thankful, and definitely it is appreciated when it all comes together after you pay a visit to friendly T.G. Brooks Company in Timberlake.
Here we are back on the Gardeners Corner program. My name is Rob Hall, Mr. Carl Cantalupi of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Services here. We appreciate all the telephone calls, and we are live in the studio. We've got time for your phone call. 336-599-0266 is our telephone number to the Gardeners Corner program. Carl, you had made mention last week about it was getting time to start making applications to take care of the peach tree borer.
That's correct, yeah. Be aware of the peach tree borer. It can kill. And the peach tree borer will attack fruiting peaches, cherries, plums, nectarines, as well as ornamental plum and ornamental cherries. Generally like to attack trees that are about 1 to 5 years old. And right now, the moths are flying around, and they will be flying around from now until the middle of September. And they lay eggs on the trunk of the tree, generally isolate the egg laying to about the lower 3 feet of trunk, and just around the trunk where the trunk meets the soil. So you have to be proactive in this case, because what happens is that once these eggs hatch, the larvae bore into the tree, and they disrupt the flow of nutrients up and down the tree. So they'll remain in there in the winter, and then they'll come out later on in this next spring and pupate, and then change into an adult. So depending on how many borers you have in the tree will determine how severe the injury is. So what you need to do as a preventive measure is to apply the insecticide permethrin, Permethrin. Permethrin is in a lot of different products that you can get. One product is the Bonide, Bonide. It actually goes under the name Bonide Borer and Miner Killer, MINER for leaf miner. and you just kind of have to look around. I know that this is available. I've gotten it just recently to control to use on my own peach trees. So do yourself a favor and eliminate the problems of you finding a peach tree next year that has leafed out, starts to set fruit, and then all of a sudden the tree goes ahead and shuts down. Because it is very severe once you have the borer in the tree. There's not much you can do. I know some people have tried to put in a stiff wire and tried to poke around in there to try to gouge out the borer, but prevention is the best way of controlling this one.
Now, Carl, even though it is called the peach tree borer, it also affects other stone fruit trees, whether they are how you say it?
Ornamental.
Thank you.
Or fruiting.
Okay.
Yeah, any plant in the plant genus Prunus, Prunus. The peach tree borers they don't bother the other fruits, apples and pears. It's just the stone fruit that they bother.
Okay, so and again, that chemical is called permethrin. Permethrin.
Permethrin.
Not pi, but permethrin.
Right.
Permethrin.
Permethrin.
And, a lot of times when you go to the lawn and garden centers, if you just tell the people there what you're wanting to get, and maybe not necessarily if you can't remember the chemical name, but just tell them you want to get something to treat your trees for the peach tree borer. They usually, are familiar with what you're wanting.
That's right.
And can help you out with that. So it pays to shop at places where people working there know what's going on and what's available and things. And that way you kind of, not in the dark, exactly in the dark. And one thing, always read, labels and instructions on use of things like that. But good time to go ahead and treat your stone fruit trees for peach tree borers. Carl, with the kind of cooler temperatures, but anytime that it's over 85 degrees, it can still be hard on your, tomatoes and things like that, correct? And the high humidity?
Right. High temperatures and high humidities go hand in hand for producing fungus diseases. Septoria leaf spot on tomato has been prevalent recently, and if that disease goes unchecked, it just literally can defoliate the entire tomato plant and just leave the leaves on the upper part of the plant still green. So, yeah, we stress this over and over about spraying with fungicides, and I know a lot of people don't like to spray any kind of chemicals, but we know tomatoes are prone to fungus diseases. The spores are in the air, so unless you spray to prevent them from getting fungus diseases, it can really decimate your crop. What happens now, especially if you have a lot of tomatoes that have set on the plant, without the covering of leaves, then the fruits start to become exposed to the sun, and then you get sun scald occurring, and you get this white area on the fruit that when the sunlight strikes the tomato fruit, it makes this white area, then the tissue starts to break down, and then you get secondary fungi that just rot the fruit. So this is why it's important to always encourage good leaf cover on the tomato plant. Many people still think that sunlight is needed to ripen tomatoes. That is not true. Ethylene, when it's released in the ripening tomato fruit, is what causes fruit ripening, and just for the fruits to be exposed to the sunlight is a detriment, along with other vegetables too, such as peppers. They'll do the same thing. So it really is beneficial to protect the plants with fungicides, just like when we get sick, we take things to make us get better, or as a we take things in advance to prevent us from getting a problem. It's the same thing with plants.
Right. Well, Carl, we've talked about this a lot, and I had never been told this until you shared the information with me. For some reason, it's kind of a sales gimmick, so to speak, in some cases. Vine ripened tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
That they're just some, nice sounding words. When your tomatoes are on the vine, when they start to turn, a little change in color, that is a time to go ahead and harvest the tomatoes and take them inside. You don't have to set them on the windowsill, just set them on the counter. Put them somewhere out of the sun, out of direct sunlight, and they will ripen up on their own. Now, if you want to speed up the ripening process, just simply take a few tomatoes and put in a paper bag. And if you have a banana available, put one banana in the bag with them and kind of fold the top of the bag down and maybe seal it with like a clothespin or something like that. And with the banana giving off the ethylene, that will make the tomatoes ripen up a little bit faster. But so more or less something else, when you pick your tomatoes as they are just starting to change colors, you can manage your tomatoes better that way, instead of going to the garden and having all of these just really red ripe tomatoes that doesn't have much of a shelf life. When you harvest your tomatoes early, you've got more time to work with them, and preserve them, so to speak. And
That's
so that's a good practice. And another thing, the longer you leave the tomato hanging on the vine, you're just inviting, more problems to come in for the actual plant itself. Now, Carl, again, the word is determinate and indeterminate, correct?
That's right. Before we explain about that, we have all lines open.
Okay.
If you want to call in, 599-0266 is the number if you have a gardening question. Again, it's 336-599-0266.
But, yes, and we are live in the studio today. Now, if you're watching on Saturday morning, we play the show back from Friday on Saturday mornings. But now, the determinate and the indeterminate and the determinate tomato, depending which variety it is, more or less, and I don't know the difference in the two. I know one of them, pretty much when the fruit sets, all of them kind of get ripe about the same time. And the other type, they will, produce tomatoes, over several weeks or so.
Right. The determinate type tomato will go ahead and flower pretty much at the same time, and a lot of the varieties that we have that don't have a tall plant stature, such as the Celebrity variety, this is a determinate type. So if you're growing the tomatoes in a cage, you can get by with just using just really a 2.5 foot tall tomato cage for a determinate variety like Celebrity. But if you have another variety like Better Boy is an indeterminate type tomato, and what happens is that it grows vegetatively, sets a flower cluster, sets that fruit, grows vegetatively, then sets another flower cluster, and then it keeps doing this right up until frost. So you need a cage that's about twice as tall to grow indeterminate type tomatoes, because they put out a lot of growth and before the end of the season. So a lot of times in seed catalogs you'll find the designations as with a D or an I for determinate or indeterminate. Just like you do, just like you find letters next to varieties, you know, the letters V and F for verticillium and fusarium fungal wilt diseases.
All right, well, Carl, I know years ago people used to talk about planting Marglobe and Homestead tomatoes because they were, what, wilt resistant or something?
I don't think so. Marglobe, I think, is an old variety that was developed out of Rutgers University. I think that's an open pollinated type. And Homestead was a variety released, down in Homestead, Florida, where there's a large tomato growing area.
Oh, okay. All right, well, Carl, something else that I just thought about. We talk about pecan trees from time to time. Is it a good time to start planting fruit trees in the fall, or is it not a good time?
Well, it depends on, that's a good question. It depends on how you're buying them. Generally, if you buy dormant, bare-rooted fruit trees from a nursery or, a mail-order nursery, these are generally available in the spring. Now they wouldn't be available, but if you go to a local garden center and you see a fruit tree growing in a container or a pecan tree, you can definitely plant that now. You can plant that any time, and so you just have to be careful when you take the plant out of the pot. Make sure that you don't break the roots. But it also might be good to examine the root system, and if you see that they're growing around and encircling the container, it's probably good to take out your pocket knife and just what we call score. Take the knife and cut the roots from the top of the root ball to the bottom of the root ball, and do this 3 or 4 times around the ball itself.
From the top to the bottom.
From the top to the bottom, and then take your hands and just gradually pull out, break up that root ball so that you're forcing the roots to grow outward.
Right, okay.
And so that's the importance then too of digging a deep enough hole and wide enough hole to accommodate the root system, because if you just plant the tree with the roots growing around and around in a circle, generally what happens is these roots, as the tree gets bigger, the roots continue to do that, and this is what causes a condition known as girdling roots. Girdling roots is when you physically have one root growing on top of another, and it cuts the circulation off of the root below.
Okay.
So,
some useful information. One other thing, as Carl has, taught us over the years, that if you do plant any pecan trees, that you need to plant 2 different varieties.
That's right.
So they can cross-pollinate. So just kind of bear that in mind. But pretty much everything that we talk about on the Gardener's Corner program, should you have a question or something, and if you would like some information on it, you can call up to your local Cooperative Extension Service office and tell them what you have a question about, and they have many different publications that they can email to you or U.S. mail to you, to where you can kind of look through and things like that. And maybe with, the fall time of the year coming up soon, and then wintertime, you may want to see about building a greenhouse. Well, they have a publication on how to build a greenhouse. Maybe you're wanting to start a compost pile. So one nice thing about the Cooperative Extension Service agent is people that know, and they are glad to share and assist any way that they possibly can. And so next time you have a question or something, call up to the local office and just tell them what it is, and maybe they can help you out. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Gardener's Corner program.
Yes, I got a question for Carl. Might be a little unusual for this area concerning a pineapple plant.
Okay, go ahead.
We've got one that wife planted off the top of a pineapple about 5 or 6 years ago. And it got to be about, 2.5, 3 foot tall, taking it in and out of the house every 1 for 5 years, never done nothing. This year we've got a pineapple. The pineapple is about 6 inches tall, big green spout on top of it, and probably about 4 inches in diameter. We're wondering what would be the time that this thing would be time to break off?
Try to let it grow. If you can see it start to go from a green to a yellow, that means the ethylene has been released in the plant. Then go ahead and harvest it. Then I'm just curious: is this occurring off of the root system of the plant?
No, it's in the top of it, in the very top of it.
Oh, it's in the top of the plant. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
she cut the top off of a pineapple. We tried this several years. I've got one to grow. Well, finally, she got one to grow. She cut the top off one, planted the green, brought off the top for a fresh pineapple, and it grew for, like I said, 4 to 5 years. It grew great. Kept changing pots, getting bigger pots, and never produced it. Then all of a sudden this year, we've got a pineapple on the top of it.
Okay. Very good. I'm glad that you were successful.
And it has some parts coming out down at the bottom, and according to what my wife has read, the way she understands it is that those things that are coming out down at the bottom could be transplanted into more pineapple plants.
Yeah, because that's how they reproduce off of the root system. Because in the commercial pineapple groves, once the plant produces a pineapple, that's that usually that part of the plant dies back, and then you'll get a new pineapple produced off of a shoot, like a sucker growth off of the roots. So that's correct.
I think that's what she's mentioned, suckers or some type of other growth on the bottom. So that should not. Everything, we should just let it go, harvest the pineapple, and let it go, and let the other part die out, and keep attending to.
Yes, yes, you could do that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we were wondering if it was going to get right before cold weather. So, but you said just watch it till it turns a yellow looking on the plant itself.
On the fruit of the pineapple itself, and if it doesn't, go ahead and harvest it, and probably ethylene has been released, even though you can't see a color change. But I would wait a little longer, see if you can notice that green start to disappear, and if that does, then go ahead and harvest it. Yeah.
Okay, and one last thing. She had read something about putting an apple on top of it. Have you ever heard of this?
Well, that'll help. If the apple is in, maybe you can put the apple on top and then cover it with a paper bag, so you concentrate the ethylene vapors inside that bag. Yes.
So that would be something that would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Okay. Put the apple on top of the green part on top of it, and then put a paper bag over that.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for your help.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Paul.
That was a neat question.
Yeah.
So, Carl, the job of the apple would be is to release ethylene, correct? Okay. Hey, we need to get a word on for South Boston Memorials. They're one of our fine supporting sponsors here on the Gardener's Corner program. And those of you that are just tuned in, we invite you to give us a call, 336-599-0266 for the Gardener's Corner program. We'll be back after this word from South Boston Memorials.
South Boston Memorials, located 1439 Seymour Drive in South Boston, Virginia. They offer granite markers, monuments, and mausoleums. For more information, visit the website SoboMemorials.com or call 434-572-3859. South Boston Memorials have been in business and family-owned since 1958. In-house laser etching is available at South Boston Memorials. They have over 300 granite memorials in stock. For all of your granite markers, monuments, and mausoleums, stop in and see them right there at South Boston Memorials, located 1439 Seymour Drive in South Boston, Virginia, or call them at 434-572-3859 and visit the website SoboMemorials.com. That's South Boston Memorials, located 1439 Seymour Drive in South Boston.
Here we are back on the Gardener's Corner program. My name is Rob Hall, Mr. Carl Cantalupi of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. Carl, we got about, I guess, maybe not quite 5 minutes left on today's program. Is it any topics of discussion that you'd like to make mention of right now?
Yeah, I might mention that if people are have an interest in becoming a master gardener. We are looking for people that would like to enroll in the master gardener class. The master gardener concept is one that I give instruction to people for about 12 weeks on a variety of different horticultural topics. We'll be starting on Thursday, September the 3rd at the Person County Extension Office and going from 9 until 12. And we'll do that every Wednesday until right before Thanksgiving. And so what we like to do is acquaint you with all different aspects of horticulture, talking about fruits, vegetables, trees, turf, insects, diseases, and how everything interacts with plants. And the objective is not to make you instant experts, but to be better able to diagnose plant problems and at least learn how to ask questions to try to find out what is wrong with your plant. And in return for the training, we ask that you volunteer some payback time. There is no cost for the training. However, we do have a Master Gardener manual that is distributed by NC State. It's a large manual, comes in a 3-ring notebook that sells for $40. You're welcome to purchase one if you like, but that is not a requirement. So anyway, this is what the program is all about, and the Master Gardeners have been active in the community, planting a community garden in one part of town here that has been quite successful off of Gregory Street, and we have other people that have been involved with beautifying the plantings at the Roxborough, Person County Farmers Market. So there's
seen your moment.
Yeah. So there's all different things you can do. There is no cost. You do not need to fill out an application. But if you're interested, just give me a call at 919-691-5455, and then we'll get you signed up. I think we've got about 10 slots left, so we'll be cutting it off pretty soon.
And so those classes will be starting in less than 1 month. Again, that telephone number, Carl?
919-691-5455.
And go ahead and get enrolled in the Master Gardener classes. And Carl will be teaching classes this year in both Person and Granville counties.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Well, I think that's going to about do it for the show today. We hope that you enjoyed the program and hope that you found some information that we passed along to you today useful. We appreciate our fine supporting sponsors, T.G. Brooks Company and South Boston Memorials. I want to wish you and yours a happy and safe weekend, and we'll be back next week with another edition of the Gardener's Corner program, and a special thanks to Mr. Carl Cantalupi.
Thank you, Rob.
Of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service for sharing his knowledge with us. Have a great day.